Good morning, John. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Delegate Ramadan, representing the 87th District as a Republican, and as Steve just said, a district that went almost 60% for President Obama in 2012. You probably don't want us to remind you of that, but here's the good news. The good news is I and my family are moving in to your district just so we can vote for you.
I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to have the Fredericks vote as we turn back the 87 to the Republican side this November. John, looking forward to having you in the neighborhood. And, I've been living here for I've been in this neighborhood for over 13 years now. And it's a great place to live and raise a family. You have a true community, a lot of friends, a lot of neighbors. I am sure the Fredericks family is going to enjoy living in South Riding, Virginia.
We're going to be we're pretty fired up about it, and hopefully when we register to be delegates, we're not going to get kicked out because we don't agree with some buddy on the other side. So we'll have to talk about that going on. But I want to get right to transportation.
Are you standing in the way of a streetcar? What was that?
I thought we were going to
run over out there.
I thought we were going to talk business development, John. You're going into transportation.
We'll go there,
you're really plowing through it today. Let's go.
Let's go right to transportation. Okay, now it's just a disclaimer. You're talking to the only conservative media personality in the galaxy who was behind this transportation package. I'm it. You could search the globe, and I'd be the only guy, and God knows I've been called every name for that imaginable. You voted no, yet you're in Northern Virginia where we know we're losing jobs. Why did you vote no?
John, we do need a solution for transportation. We all know that. And we all jumped in. As you know, I have been a big supporter of our governor, as he has been of mine. And I did agree that we do need a transportation solution. However, what ended coming out was not a solution in my mind. The problem is that the bill that ended up coming out, first of all, had a couple major problems, one of which is double taxation on Northern Virginia. This idea of taxing Northern Virginia in addition of Hampton Roads has the same issue as well. In addition of the statewide taxes is not fair. I didn't believe it's constitutional. We're still waiting on, and it looks like it's going to be deemed unconstitutional from the experts, including the Attorney General's office. And I didn't think that it was going to solve our problems today. We do have a problem. We do need a solution. This was a fix in my mind, not a solution. And because it wasn't the right solution for us, I thought that we as Virginia, even though we were restrained to a 45-day session, doesn't mean we had to finish it in 45 days. We could have went into special session. We still can. We could have put together a bigger coalition among the legislation to come up with it. And as conservatives, the one thing that didn't get included in this deal was any kind of cutting or reforming from other parts of government.
But the issue that I have with all of these plans, Delegate Ramadan, and that just sounds fabulous. I mean, it sounds like a logical thing to do, but here's the deal. You've got 20 Democrats in the state Senate that are not going to go for any of that. So the alternative is you get nothing. And we did get them to agree to take $200 million out of the general fund. They didn't want to take any, so there is some movement on that. I mean, my problem with these arguments is I live in the real world, and the real world is you're not going to go into a special session and get Dick Saslaw and 19 Democrats to say, hey, David, you know what? On second thought, you're right. Why don't we take the $1 billion out of the general fund and we'll all shake hands. I mean, that isn't going to happen.
I didn't necessarily want it to take it all from the general fund. We didn't actually take much from the general fund.
$200 million, that's it.
No, it's not. It's actually $60 million from the general fund unless we get the internet tax coming from the federal government, at which an excise money that might be going into the federal fund will go up to $200 million. So there is not $200 million taken out of the general fund. We as a state had $490-some million excess income in the last few years every year. We didn't generate any of that to go into it. Are they going to agree to it? Not necessarily. Can we cut, though, not just take away from the general fund, but can we cut other programs in government? Yes, we can. And would I take on Dick Sasswell for this? Absolutely. I'll take a fight to Dick and to a few others until they see the light on it and come to the table with a middle ground. I'm not saying my way, but I'm saying middle ground. And in my mind, this wasn't middle ground. This was giving away the house. This was taxing houses, and this was taxing cars, and this was taxing hotels and sleeping. This was double taxing Northern Virginia. And within Northern Virginia, I'm a Loudoner. You're going to be joining me soon to be a Loudoner. I represent Loudoun and Prince William. I represent my 80,000 constituents. My 80,000 constituents were going to not only be double taxed now, but they're going to go into a similar formula to what we have today. Every dollar we send out of Northern Virginia today to Richmond, we're only getting 30 cents on spending back. In this additional formula, in this additional tax, if it would have taken place, every dollar that we collect out of Loudoun and Prince William, we're only keeping 30 and sending 70 to this regional authority, which is likely all to be spent in Fairfax, Arlington, and Alexandria. So it was a double taxation, and it was a rotten deal in my mind. And because of that, I couldn't support it, not in good conscience, and not to represent truly my constituents.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to business development. We're with Republican House of Delegates member David Ramadan. He's from the 87th District, Loudoun County, and some of Prince William County. Delegate Ramadan, let's get to your business initiatives, your business roundtable, trying to attract new companies into the state. I know you've done some work with Mike Watson, Delegate Watson from Newport, knew some others. How do we shake out now? What is your proposal to get jobs in the state, and how does that tie into the transportation package that is ultimately going to be signed by McDonnell?
You're more hopeful on the signing than I am. We're still not over yet. There's still some changes to be done to the bill. There's always the hope of a veto on the bill as well. So put that aside. How do we do on business development? Well, four of us, we were four freshmen when we started last year. Delegates Head, Watson, Webert, and I started what we call the Business Development Caucus. There wasn't one in Virginia. We had a caucus for everything except business development. And immediately about 26 members of the legislature joined us, including, and it got the support of the governor and the speaker. And we started the caucus at the last day of session of last year, and then we went out throughout the year and held these business town halls throughout the state. We held 6 of them in all parts of the state to see what is needed to keep our businesses in the state, to make it a better state for them, and to understand what are the problems and impediments that are going to hold other businesses from coming in here. And this didn't come through the chambers, even though the chambers do a fantastic job representing their industries. This was straight from the horse's mouth, from the small and medium-sized businesses in their domain, in their problem. We sat down and listened for hours. And for every meeting, we had several other members of the legislature join us. Almost about all 26, 27 members had made one or two of these meetings. We made all 6 of them, the 4 co-founders. And we came up with 16 pieces of legislation that came straight out of what people asked us to do. And out of those 16 pieces of legislation, we passed 10 of them this past session.
That's pretty good.
That's fantastic, including merging the State Corporation Commission into the Virginia Business One-Stop Portal. So now truly people can go only to one location and do business with the Commonwealth, including allowing child care in homes, including dealing with unemployment compensation and disqualifying benefits if a person loses his license of certification, if that license of certification is a requirement of the job, including part of the summary judgment reform that took place this year,
right,
to help businesses with lowering down the cost of trials. So it was a gamut of bills that came through from the business community, and we put them through. We worked them hard, and with the support of many members of the legislation, the speaker, the governor, we were able to pass 10 of them, and we're going to continue to work on business issues for as long as we have the trust of our constituents to send us back.
In the framework, Delegate, of what you're attempting to do, the business community that you've engaged, give us an overview of the reception that you've had. Do they look at this as just kind of political pandering politics, or do they see some real tangible stuff that you guys are trying to do?
These are real tangible stuff. There is absolutely no political pandering on this. This was a bipartisan effort. The 26 that joined us included Democrats, majority were Republicans, but included Democrats. We co-patroned and co-sponsored these bills with whoever we thought would be the best person to be able to process this legislation. And the business community saw that and appreciated that. We worked with stakeholders on it. They were very involved. The Chamber and FIB and other organizations, once we brought these ideas to Richmond, were very involved in supporting it and passing it. And therefore, it was a true effort for the business community by cooperation and hard work of the business community, which eventually will lead to one thing. I mean, we represent our people, we represent our constituents so that we can create a better Commonwealth, better jobs, and hopefully lower taxes, not higher taxes.
Right.
Last Friday, Delegate Ramadan, you announced that you've got another town hall meeting set up for Prince William County, which is great in terms of your continuing outreach to your constituents. You're going to talk about what happened in the General Assembly session as well at that town hall meeting, correct?
Absolutely. This is a two-part town hall. We're going to have a part of it where I listen now to what my constituents want to tell me after the session. I have been in constant contact with them. I did a teletown hall meeting during session from Richmond where by phone we dialed 20,000 households and thousands of them joined on the phone, and we held a town hall by phone, a great system that now gives us that capability and brings many more people to the time restraints that we have every day. Held one before session, held one during session, and now that I'm back in the district, I'll be holding few of the in-person town halls, starting with the one in Prince William. So I get to hear from them about their input to what happened and what they're hearing out there and what their needs are and what they want me to be working on in the next 6 to 8 months. And at the same time, they'll be getting an update to what happened to that legislation that I already talked about during my teletown halls. The legislation that I informed them is going through the system, and the many bills that I was involved in that I had updated them on via several mailers during the session as well.
Well, the devil is in the details, and we would be remiss if we didn't give out the date, time, and place. Do you have that in front of you, sir?
Absolutely. It is on the 23rd at 6 o'clock, and it's in one of the schools, and I will come up with that. May
I fill that detail in for you, sir? It's Alvey Elementary School, which is on Waverly Farm in Haymarket. Once again, the 23rd of March, 6 p.m., Alvey Elementary School, 5300 Waverly Farm in Haymarket, for those in Prince William County. John?
Transparency is the best policy. I'm all in favor of this, and I commend you for having these town hall meetings. Open them up, let everybody come, ask questions. I mean, it's great for the democratic process. Speaking of democracy, Delegate, you're in a district that went for Obama in 2012. I think, if memory serves me correctly, 60 to 40, right?
Correct.
Okay. How do you get reelected in a district that blasted Romney by almost 2-1?
I got elected in the same district the year before that. There was no change in the district from the time I was elected to the presidential election. It was a tight election. I won by 51 votes only. But it's a very unique in a different district. The district has about 25% of its constituency are great immigrants, Indian Americans that come from far, far east and had made Virginia home, made Eastern Loudoun County home. It has a Hispanic community out of the Sterling area mostly. It has a small African American community, and it has a common sense, middle ground, mostly nonpartisan Americans that just vote their conscience and vote the person. I have built great relationships. I've been a member of the community. I'm always here and available and out in the community. When you move to South Riding, you'll see me every week at the farmers markets. You'll see me at South Riding Day and Sterling Day and Haymarket Day and Stone Ridge Days, and my office is always open. I have taken quite a bit of time off my life and my family and spent it on public service in the last 3 years. I believe that's the way I can pay back America and pay back Virginia for the fortune and that gave me. I am living the American dream as an immigrant that came here with practically nothing to his name and today serves in Jefferson's house.
There you go. David Ramadan, a true American success story, John. And Delegate Ramadan, we appreciate the time, and we want to have you back soon. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.